Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. So today I'm actually joining you in one of the greenhouses here at the University of Rhode Island. Something really cool that they offer for students, and I think for pretty much anybody, is you can actually rent space in their greenhouses if you want to start stuff in the springtime. So I rented a little bit of space. I have a few seedlings that are in here. I brought some from home as well. And I'm going to be repotting a lot of stuff today because a lot of stuff is in just little tiny plugs. And I wanted to bring you guys along for that process. So I just want to show you what I have in here so far and then kind of where I'm going to be putting them. And then we'll get started. So these two trays right here are mine. The others on the other side are not. But I have blue butterfly peas and then loofahs here that came from Garden Grown Seeds. That's a manual over at Ultimate Gardening, so go check him out if you want to see. But he sent me these seeds. So I have a couple blue butterfly peas that came up. I didn't have super great germination with those, but that could be my fault, to be honest. And then I have here, these are Black Beauty tomatoes that I got from Baker Creek. I have a bunch of these that I'm going to be repotting today. This tray here I'm not going to be potting up because you can see how small this stuff is, but there is a Dwarf Mix Snapdragon. That's what this row is, so pretty small still. And then there's two types of Rudbeckia. So Cherry Brandy, which is like a deeper red color, that's right here. And then the Sahara Rudbeckia, which has more of like the orange and yellowy tones. But those just started to come up. They're still pretty small. So all I'm going to do is actually use a tray like this and stick them underneath here because I can't water these on the weekend. I'm on campus 5 days a week, but I don't stop here on the weekend because it's like a 45-minute drive for me. So if I put them underneath a few trays, the trays do have holes in them, but if I at least put them underneath like a few of them, I'll fill it up with water and then it'll keep it throughout the rest of the weekend. And probably sometime in the next maybe week or two, then I'll transplant these, but they're so small that there's no point in doing it now. Then I have this tray here. These are seeds that I started probably over a month ago, I would say at this point. But I have hot pepper that are called Fire Away. These are the Proven Winners hot pepper. So I think I have like 4 or 5 plants total here. I didn't have super great germination with the tomatoes for the Proven Winners varieties, but I know these seeds were a couple of years old. So I have 2 good-hearted tomatoes that are here. This middle row, which has pretty good germination, are the Garden Gem. And then I think I only have 1 Garden Treasure. So that's what this one is right here. Then this is from Burpee. They're just sweet pepper called Big Red, so it's just a nice red pepper. I have a bunch of those. And then the last thing are these eggplants. These are Burpee's Black Beauty. So I think I have like 4. There's a bunch of seedlings. I think I'm just going to put all the seedlings in one pot, but the larger ones I'll put in individual pots. Then besides that, I have a couple different types of dahlias that I've picked up. I've actually never grown dahlias before. I found these at Home Depot. These are Lavender Perfection. This has a 3-pack, so I have some in here. And then this one I ended up getting from a local nursery called Cafe LA. Not the name of the nursery, but the variety here. And I think there's only 1 tuber in here. So I have these containers. They're just like takeout containers that we got one time from ordering food. I've watched a couple videos on pre-sprouting dahlias, so I'm going to do that. And I just have 1 container for that one variety and then 1 for the other. So at least I can keep them in here, and then at least I can get a jump start on these dahlias because I'm hoping they can grow a couple more tubers than maybe they would have if I started them in like May or June. And then I can have a few extras for next season. And then last thing are these massive elephant ear bulbs. These I got from Home Depot as well. This is just an alocasia, but actually if I look at this tag here, it just says elephant ears. I think it said something about mammoth. I think that's the variety. I'm sure many of you guys are aware that I have the tropical bed going in, and there's a few extra plants that I ordered this year that are very exciting that I'm going to be putting in hopefully sometime in May or June. But anyways, I figured these would be fun. They're an annual plant, but I can take them in every winter and just kind of keep them stored. So I bought those like maybe a month ago or so. They're actually starting to show a couple little like nubs of growth, so I'll show you that now actually. You can kind of see like this right here that has a little bit of pink in it, so that's starting to pop out. There's probably a couple others that are on here. So I'm gonna end up planting these. And my thought was, at least for now, like I can get them started maybe like a month and a half early, and then they can start pushing out growth, and hopefully they'll get even bigger this year than they would have gotten before. So I have a couple big pots that are over here, and I'll show you everything else I'm gonna be planting them in. So these are the pots. I think they're about like a 3-gallon size. I have 1 for each one of those alocasias. And then all these, I just rinse these off for now, but I have these trays here. I have these smaller pots. I'm not sure exactly what size this is, but you can kind of see like in comparison to my hand, they're not a super large pot. These are going to be for the things that don't grow as fast, like the peppers and the eggplants. So I'll put all that stuff in here. And then I have some of these larger pots, so you can kind of see size difference. They're probably maybe about twice the size or so, and they're definitely deeper. I have a few different types, and then these are actually a little bit smaller, but you can kind of see, yeah, they're a little bit smaller than this other one here, but these larger pots I'm going to use for more of like the tomatoes, loofahs, just the stuff that grows a little bit faster. I might transplant these one more time, but I'll probably end up bringing them home like the first week of May or so, because usually by that point we're pretty good from frost. If I have to bring them inside like 1 or 2 nights, like the next couple weeks after that, then that's no big deal, but I want to get those in the ground. But some of these plants, like especially the ones that I had at home, like you can see this tray right here, they just weren't looking all that great being downstairs at my house because it was only like 65 degrees, and especially like since I'm growing tomatoes and peppers, those do not want 65-degree temperatures. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to plant each one of these up, and then I'll just show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so it's a little bit later in the afternoon. I actually had some classes and then I was able to come back, but I want to show you what everything looks like. So for right now down here, I have the 2 alocasias, the elephant ears. This one's popping up, so I might just try to cover that with a little bit more soil. I think it said to do like 2 or 3 inches, so maybe a little high, but I can always move that back down. But these are in there. And then starting off with here, I have the dahlia tubers. Now this one actually has a little bit of white on it, so this one is already starting to grow. So I would assume in the next week or so, this will start to look a little bit different. Then I have my other dahlia tubers here. This is the Cafe au lait, and then this was the lavender one. I can't remember the exact name. Right behind it, these are the Fire Away Hot and Heavy peppers. So I have these 4 here, and then right behind it are the eggplants. So I had 3 nice looking eggplants and then 4 that were really small. So I figured I would just keep those all together. Moving here, these are all the sweet peppers. So this is all the same variety. And I just potted them up into these smaller containers. I guess I'll move over here. These are the Black Beauty tomatoes. Now some of these looked a little sad right after I planted them. Like you can see this one is still looking not the best. Same thing with that. And I think I disturbed the roots a little bit, at least in a couple of them, because I was kind of pulling them up out of the tray for the first bit, and I realized that wasn't the best thing to do, so I tried not to do it for the rest of them. But there's 2 more that are back there. I have 1 loofah here, and then the rest of the loofahs are all here. These look really great. They're starting to put on their first true leaf. And then these are the 2 butterfly peas that I had. So again, I only had 2, but I think these 2 will grow pretty well. And then over here were the rest of the tomatoes that I started at home. So here's the 1 garden treasure. This row of 4 are the garden gem, and then these 2 are the good-hearted. And then for the cherry brandy rudbeckia, the Sahara rudbeckia, and then the dwarf snapdragon, I just put them in here, and then I'm going to fill this up with water. So I'm just going to be checking on these Monday through Friday. I'll leave them here for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. If things start to grow a lot and need to be transplanted again, then I'll take care of that. Same thing like the rudbeckia and everything that are still in those tiny plugs. I'm sure I'll have to transplant those at least in the next couple weeks or so. But they're just going to be growing in this greenhouse until the beginning of May, and then I will take them home. So besides that, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.